students, myself Anita, your host for today. Now, with NEET around the corner, you might be very much having mixed feeling, correct? You will be excited, you will be having fear of exam and all that, right? So, in order to deal with your anxiety, we have our star faculties who will guide you how to deal these problems for these 2 days. So, let me introduce them all to you. Firstly, let me introduce Mr. Vijay Kishore sir.
Hi.
Who is spreading his knowledge of chemistry and smile from past 26 years. Next, we have Ramana Kumar sir, who is inspiring NEET aspirants like you all from past 32 years, and he is faculty of Botany. Now, then we have Prasad sir. Prasad sir is telling us about all the wonders of physics from past 25 years. Next, joining us as the faculty of most lovable subject by all of you NEET aspirant is none other than Vivek sir, who is having 16 plus year of experience in dealing with this subject. So, as we know about our experts, let us move on to our Q&A session, okay? So, no doubt when I'm talking about NEET, all the chapters are very important, correct? But there are only 2 days left, right? We can't revise all the chapters. So, is there any way out for this? Let us see that. Vijay Kishore sir, please enlighten us about chemistry.
Yeah. Students, first let me congratulate you all because you are watching this program. See, that shows your sincerity and your seriousness towards your NEET exam. So, you must be the chosen one for getting flying colors in NEET exam. Okay. Now, as far as the chemistry is considered, you have to remember one point very clearly. The exam is going to be purely on NCERT textbook. You just do not get carried away by the information given in various commercial books. So, people and paper setters of the NEET exam do not going to set the questions based on those commercial books. Obviously, they are going to choose the questions from within the framework of NCERT syllabus. So, if you are perfect in NCERT syllabus, there is no way that you can skip the seat. That is the first point. And second point, see, very important, you should not try to learn anything new for these 3 days. So, you become more perfect and improve your grip on the topics which already you have done. Revise them, recollect them, what you already know, but do not try to learn something new because that will increase your mind pressure. So, with the topics already you have covered and already work you have done, that is enough for getting the NEET exam.
So,
okay.
So sir, tell me about physical chemistry. How to learn physical chemistry?
Yeah, this is very important point. Actually, when we know that chemistry is divided into 3 parts: physical, organic and inorganic. You are well aware of that. And first, during these 3 days, first you try to prepare in physical chemistry. Trying in physical chemistry means don't try to do many number of problems now. So, just write down all the formulas on the paper and try to develop the nick of customizing that formula to the various demands of the problems. And especially 1 or 2 problems in the summary of NCERT textbook you can choose and you just read that. If you are confident of solving that problem, just leave them. But now do not practice the questions, many number of questions in physical chemistry, and try to see some graphs which are related especially in the chapter like the states of matter and solutions and electrochemistry, chemical kinetics very importantly. Those graphs you try to learn and just take a white paper, write down all the formulas of each and every chapter, and without referring your book, you try to recollect. Wherever you get stuck up, then just see the book for 1 or 2 minutes and quickly learn that formula, and just leave the physical chemistry. So, there is a way to prepare in the physical chemistry.
So, what about organic chemistry? Shall they go for all the mechanisms and all that, or shall they concentrate only few things?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, they do not have to concentrate on bigger and complex mechanisms at this point of time. they have to focus on the reactions which are specially given in the NCERT textbook, and few mechanisms are also given in the NCERT textbook, and paper setter is definitely going to test that mechanism. So you make sure that you have done all the mechanisms given in the NCERT textbook, and at the end of each and every chapter that summary is given. There are some conversions also given. You try to be perfect in those conversions and mechanisms, and all the reactions, obviously hydrocarbons and alkyl halides, if you come, there are substitution mechanisms, elimination mechanisms. Just go through them at this point of time, and that will definitely serve your purpose.
What about metallurgy and all that? Metallurgy, coordination chemistry, how to remember all those things?
Yeah, exactly. It is generally it makes a nightmare to the many students, the metallurgy and coordination chemistry. Of course, when compared to the metallurgy, coordination chemistry is little logical and sometimes some mental ability is also involved. As far as the coordination chemistry is considered, you have to learn the Warner complex compounds. Warner's theory is the very important and the most probable question. Then structures based on the valency bond theory, you just have to go through them. And finally, isomerism, especially geometrical isomerism and this structural isomerism, you have to give special focus. If you see the previous questions, paper setter many a time asked the questions on the structural isomerism. So if you do perfectly in those structural isomerism and in geometrical isomerism and Warner complex theory, valency bond theory, that will be enough for coordination chemistry. And very importantly, metallurgy. Metallurgy is a purely memory based topic in the inorganic chemistry. So in metallurgy, this is the right time to read the metallurgy also. So student has to allot 1 or 2 hours for that metallurgy topic, and each and every element and its extraction process, what is its chief for, means from where it is extracted. You just have to write on the paper. As the time is very shorter, you can memorize it very well. So generally people lose the marks in metallurgy because there is a huge gap between their preparation and exam date. So if you prepare metallurgy, if you write down all the important points of metallurgy on the paper by spending 1 hour and 1.5 hours so there is no way that you will forget that. So you can score very well in metallurgy as well. That is the best strategy to adapt at this point of time.
Thank you, sir. Sir, Ramana sir, so based on the weightage of all the botany chapters, what do you think are the most important chapters which they have to go through in these 2 days?
Hi students. So in the +1 syllabus, plant physiology, it is very, very important, and come to the cell, the unit of life, and cell cycle and cell division. In the +2 syllabus, in the NCERT textbook, that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants, biotechnology. So these chapters are very, very important. So for example, take plant physiology. Starting from the transport in plants, mineral nutrition, photosynthesis in higher plants, respiration in plants, and plant growth in development. From all these lessons, so approximately minimum of 8 questions and a maximum of 10 questions may come in the NEET examination. And at the same time, cell, the unit of life, and cell cycle and cell division, 4 or 5 questions may be possible. And come to the second year, sexual reproduction flowering plants. Minimum of 3 questions and maximum of 4 questions may be possible. And come to the biotechnology principles and applications, so 5 or 6 questions may be possible. So these are the important chapters in the botany subject. Okay, madam? Okay.
Thank you, sir. What about like how they will prepare for botany for these 2 days? Like, is there any way they can?
Yes, definitely, madam. So first of all, in these 2 days, don't learn new things or new concepts. And the second point is to recollect the name of the scientists and the discoveries, in which year they are discovered. So that type of tables you have to memorize. And another important point is go through all the images which are given in the NCERT textbook along with images. So this is a very, very important point. So definitely from botany, 1 question may be possible on the basis of images and labeling. And come to the another important point. Don't read all the materials within 2 days. So concept wise somewhat some problem is there. So that is why these are the tips we have to follow.
Thank you, sir. Now, physics, sir, the subject all the NEET aspirants are most scared of. So tell me how they will deal about this subject for these 2 days.
Yeah. So here last 2 days left over, today it is 9th, only 2 days. What I suggest students, in these 2 days you have to completely involve in bookless revision. Without touching the book, you should be in position to revise. Means, for example, just try to recollect what are the formulae related to time and time period. Time period of the simple pendulum, time period of the spring and block system, time period of the physical pendulum, and a time constant in LR circuit, time constant in CR circuit, half-life period, and a time period of a projectile. So like that, you try to recollect whatever the formulae already you have prepared, try to recollect. And if necessary, and start writing all the formulae, whatever you could able to recollect, try to put them on paper. Like that, next you take one more physical quantity, force, and try to recollect all the different formulae related to force from first year, second year, that is from 11th class and 12th class. Try to recollect all the formulae related to force. Gravitational force formula, force between charges formula, force between electric dipoles, force between magnetic dipoles, and Stokes law, viscous force formula. So like that, there are so many formulae related to force which are basic things, and try to recollect all the formulae, as many as possible, try to recollect. And after that, velocity. Next most important thing, phase difference. Every student, you know that here, and we are getting frequently many questions based upon phase difference. What is the phase difference between input and output in common base configuration, common emitter configuration? Like that, what you have to do in these 2 days, without touching the books, you try to recollect important concepts like law of conservation of linear momentum, law of conservation of angular momentum, work energy theorem, law of conservation of energy, Stokes law, like that, Stephen's law, Wien's displacement law. Without using any book, try to recollect all these concepts. Fleming's left hand rule, Fleming's right hand rule, right hand thumb rule. Try to recollect all these things. It is very, very important. These are basic things, all of you. And if at all you want to go through a book, the most important suggestion for you, go through only previous question papers, and don't go through any new question. As earlier sir said, we should not go through new questions. And here we should not discuss anything related to subject with friends and others. We should not discuss anything these 2 days. And we have to keep ourselves isolated from all those things. Okay? And this is how we have to prepare, madam.
Thank you, sir. Sir, Vivek sir, same question as Ramana Kumar sir. So tell me how to choose few of the chapters from zoology which are like by weightage very much important.
Yes. Hello students. So as far as zoology is concerned, there are some very important chapters. If you take 11th standard, human physiology, right? So human physiology is obviously, you know, you love human physiology a lot because that is quite live, and that is, you know, biggest unit, and most of the questions, you know, as far as zoology is concerned, you can expect from what human physiology. There are 7 chapters like digestion and absorption, breathing and exchange of gases, body fluid and circulation, excretory products and their elimination, locomotion and movement, neural control and coordination, chemical coordination and integration. So these are, you know, 7 chapters in human physiology. You can do quick revision, right? So you have gone through these chapters so many times, and you know, I personally believe it doesn't take, right, more than 2 hours to revise all these things. So what you have to do, because biology is pure memory based subject, right? So you just read, you know, paragraph to paragraph. It's not like word to word, because you have gone through so many times. You read just paragraph to paragraph so that you can finish what quick revision as far as this human physiology is concerned. And apart from human physiology, you see, you know, what we have observed over the years, generally you can expect questions from 11th standard if you take the 11th standard portion, kingdom Animalia. So kingdom Animalia, so sometimes 3 questions, sometimes even 4 questions from that small chapter you can expect, and that is pure memory based topic, right. So what you have to do, you have to memorize examples, right. See, from Porifera, Porifera, all invertebrate phyla, right. So chordata, again classes are there, so many examples are there, around 200 plus scientific words are there, right. So much confusion will be there. So you have gone through so many times, so you can quickly revise those things. One more topic is there, biomolecules, so that is also very important, right. So you just focus on these things, you can revise quickly. And when it, if it, as far as 12th standard is concerned, right. So in 12th standard, reproduction, human reproduction is very important, and one small topic is there, reproductive health, right. So in reproductive health, if you take reproductive health, so it does not take, in my view, it does not take more than 10 minutes to revise that reproductive health, right. So just within 10 minutes you can quickly revise that reproductive health. What is there, you see, only 2 things are there, important things. One is intrauterine devices, right. I mean contraceptives, I must say contraceptives here, contraceptive methods, and apart from contraceptive methods, right, one more topic is there, infertility. From these 2 topics only, you can expect question, dear students. Over the years what I have observed, so generally they are asking questions from what, these 2 topics only, and it does not take more than 10 minutes. And besides this, right, so when it comes to genetics, right, genetics is gonna very play a crucial role, right. So genetics actually decides your score in biology, right. So you have to quickly revise genetic topics, right. And ecology part is there, so my colleague simply covered biotechnology part, right. So evolution is there, right. So quickly you have to revise. Students, at this moment don't try to learn new things, right. You just go on revising the things which you have already learnt. So that is the way, right, you can prepare yourself in zoology.
Thank you, sir. So with all of your permission, am I allowed to take few of the questions from the chat box?
Sure.
Thank you, sir. So my first question is to Vijay Kishore, sir. What are the do's and don'ts which they have to do during the exam time?
Yeah, this is a very important question. I appreciate the student who asked this question. And students, you have to remember how you start the subject matters a lot. For example, biology, everyone will try to do the best, and so everyone will do the obviously better in the biology. Then what will confirm your seat is chemistry. If you write very well in chemistry, that will confirm your seat. Writing the best in physics will confirm you the medical college. Suppose you write very well in physics, then you will get into the best of the medical colleges. But if you write chemistry very well, that will confirm your seat. So you must adopt one method while writing the NEET exam. First you have to start with the biology, and some experts say that you have to start with the zoology, then followed by the botany, and of course it is left to your choice. First you have to start with the biology, then you must start with the chemistry. After seeing biology, of course 45 minutes time is there, 45 minutes. I think for you do the biology, it requires 30 minutes each in botany and zoology as per my knowledge. So you can save at least half an hour time in biology, and chemistry can be completed in 35 to 40 minutes. So what all the time you saved in biology and chemistry, that must be utilized in physics. Obviously physics requires more time, but it doesn't mean that you have to start the exam with the physics. So you have to start with the biology followed by the chemistry, and you have to save the time as much as possible, and that saved extra time must be utilized in physics to do well in physics. That's very important. And second point is, of course it looks very minimal point, but it means a lot. You have to, suppose you are staying in writing the exam in humidity conditions like coastal areas, you must wear the cotton clothes. You should not go with the silk cloths or something that doesn't absorb the sweat. So you have to go with the cotton cloths, suppose you are writing in humidity conditions. So because that will not cause any irritation to you, it will not disturb you. And carry one water bottle, but if you feel thirsty, don't drink too much of water. Subsequently that may cause your urinary sensations that will disturb your focus. So if you feel thirsty, just have one sip of water. And preferably while writing the exam also, after completion of biology, first you tick them the correct answers in the question paper itself. So if you feel that fourth answer is correct, you have to tick up in fourth option. Like that, what all that you mark in the OMR sheet, that must be reflected in the paper. So after the completion of one subject, then you try to mark them up. Then you go to the zoology. Then first answer in your question paper, then try to mark them in the OMR sheet. These things will give you the definitely edge when compared to the other students if you follow this. Okay, but don't forget, start with biology, followed by the chemistry, and last physics with extra time.
Thank you, sir. Ramana Kumar, sir. As Vijay Kishore sir told us that we have to first of all go for biology, then for chemistry, and then for physics. But tell me one thing, sir. Students are having doubt like what need to be adopted for bubbling the questions. Is it like they should go for simultaneous, like for whole zoology at one time and then botany at one time, physics, chemistry, or they should be like minimizing it to one or two questions like that? So what should be the strategy they should follow?
So while answering the questions, so first of all, one must have to select zoology subject, because zoology questions are very, very easy, and then come to the botany and followed by chemistry and followed by physics. So more time is allotted to the physics subject. So here in the question paper, two sections are there in every subject. Section A consists of 35 questions and section B 15 questions are there. Among these 35 questions of the section A, one must have to attempt all the 35 questions. In the section B 15 questions are there, so one must have to answer 10 questions. There is a choice. So here, so first of all, once you completed the particular subject, for example, if you take botany, so 35 plus 10, that is 45 questions. So after the completion of this, so one must have to mark the answer on the question paper itself. So for example, first question, second option is correct, tick the second option, and the second question, third option is correct, put the third answer. And after the completion of all these 45 questions, first 5 questions, answers must be transferred onto the OMR sheet.
Okay.
Then followed by next set of 5 questions. So in this way, all the 45 questions, answers transferred onto the OMR sheet.
So what is the advantage of using this particular way of bubbling?
So this type of method when you follow, we can minimize the bubbling mistakes.
Okay.
So definitely we will minimize the mistakes. So that is another advantage. Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Prasad, sir, next question is to you. So students are asking that is it important to have the mental integrity during the exams? Is it that important?
So here, students, once you introspect, so since 2 days before, most of the students, you are with anxiety, tension. If you introspect, when you are getting tension, by looking at the question paper, by looking at the difficult questions, when you are getting tension, even before looking at the question paper, you are getting tension. 2 days before, students are getting tension. So from this we have to understand tension, it is just a psychological. Then how to deal with that psychological problem? So here I am going to suggest you an excellent method to deal with psychological problems in the examination hall and keep yourself cool and confident in the examination hall. I am going to tell you 3 things. First thing, to deal with the psychological problems, we have to plan our actions. That is most important. With well planned actions, we can deal with psychological problems. So here what are the actions you have to involve in? You have to keep yourself busy in examination hall with 3 very important useful actions. Number 1, first thing. So here you know that this year you are going to read 200 questions instead of 180. Earlier it is 180 questions, now this year 200 questions you are going to read. Therefore, how much busy you should be once you understand. So therefore, all the students, once you start the examination, you have to read the questions, control speed, and you have to identify the core words like whether it is asked correct answer or incorrect answer. Such core words, look here, you have to highlight. That is very, very important. So you have to busy with, look here this action. And after that, as sir said, how to bubble OMR sheet, and he said excellent method. We have to give periodical pause, and during this periodic pause, what happens to see, your subconscious mind will think about the difficult questions. By the time when you see a difficult questions, you need not worry about that one. Difficult questions common. Luckily, in the NEET examination in physics, what happens to see, very few such questions you will get. But however, difficult questions common. Then how to deal with such questions? Look here, while bubbling the OMR sheet, automatically your subconscious mind will work about that. You need not worry about that. So therefore, the second action, you have to make your subconscious mind involved in that work. And the third thing, you have to make your rough work very neat and clean. Whatever the space that is provided for the rough work, you have to divide into 3 or 4 columns, and neatly, look here, you have to divide that into boxes. And here, whatever the problem you are going to work out, you have to write the number and you have to work out neatly. With these 3 actions, what happens to see, you can minimize the tension. Minimum tension, look here, advisable, but look here, it should not be too much. So that is why all the students, before you read the examination, if you feel tension, no harm. But once you enter into examination, if you follow these 3 actions, what happens is definitely you will be free from all the tensions and you can completely involve in your work. Okay, so that is how we have.
Thank you, sir. So we are running out of time, but we have time for one more question. So let me see one more question. Vivek sir, I will direct this question to you. How to manage time during the exam?
Yeah, this is very good question. Once again, you see, this time in 2021 NEET, paper pattern will be different. Paper pattern will be different, 2021 NEET. As my colleague said, so there are, instead of 180 questions, there are 200 questions, right? But the thing is, again, you are going to answer only 180 questions, 180 minutes, 180 questions. You need not to worry about, right? So time, you need not to worry about that. You can easily attempt all 180 questions in 180 minutes. So just you have to be relaxed, right? Be confident, and then you can cope up with this problem.
Thank you, sir. At last, I would like to thank all of our staff faculty for giving us this valuable time and guiding the students up. So lastly, I would say that let us talk about how to go for the exam. Don't you agree that they should be confident when they are going out for their NEET exam?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Right? So all the best for your exams, and
All the best.
let us meet again on 12th for the complete paper analysis. Thank you.